Hello and welcome to the Reality TV Cringe Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Beatrice, and normally I have my mother-in-law, Delia, over here with me, but she's not here. And it's just me holding down the fort. So you're going to have to deal with it. I know it's just me. I'm cool too, though. But Delia is still recovering from her surgery that she had a couple weeks ago. So she's okay. I don't want anybody to worry about her or anything like that. But she just still needs her rest. And we just didn't want to cancel on you guys again this week. So I'm here holding down the fort. And I'm going to cover Special Forces by myself. This horse shit. So you're just going to have to deal with it. It's going to be a little bit of a different vibe. I'm sorry about that. But you're stuck with me, okay? So hide your wife, hide your kids. I'm dumb. I swear a lot. And if you're easily offended, this podcast ain't for you, okay? And follow us on Instagram at Reality TV Cringe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Reality TV Cringe. We have a lot of VIP, we have a lot of bonus content up there in the VIP dumpster. So it's the best way to support us over there on Patreon, and we would really appreciate it if you join us over there. And if you're on YouTube, please do all the things like, comment, subscribe, hype up our videos with your hype points or whatever. I think it helps boost us in the algorithm a little bit, and we really need that because I feel like we're totally getting shadow banned. So do all the things. We love you. Now let's get into this shit, okay? Special Forces. So we're on season 4, episode 7. We haven't really covered this show like too rigidly the last couple weeks, really, because Kody hasn't been on it, and like neither of us are really that interested in the rest of the characters or the rest of the show for that matter. But this week it was a very Kody-centric episode, so of course we have to talk about it. And it was so infuriating because Kody is just completely performing. Like he's just putting on a show for everybody, trying to act like he's on some redemption arc in his life and trying to take accountability. And I hate it. It's so fake. It's so inauthentic. And I don't believe a single thing that he says. Like, I don't even believe his tears that he's crying later in this episode. It's just ridiculous. So I won't get into all of the details of the episode because quite frankly, I don't remember them. But we have like 6 people left on the show. It's only been about a week. We lost like 2 people in this episode for medical reasons. They just left. Like one of them had a cough, couldn't do any of the other exercises. One guy, his ear hurt, so he had to go see an ENT surgeon and he had to leave. And so now we have 6 people that remain. And then we have this like hostage scenario thing that they do where they're all in pairs. And the purpose of this exercise is to rescue a hostage in a building that is about to explode in 2 minutes or less. And also, in addition to rescuing that hostage, you have to grab a critical asset, which is just like a suitcase in this building that's about to explode. And so we start off with Kody and his partner. I forget her name. She's some Olympic gymnast or whatever. And Kody completely messes up the entire course, which I love that for him. I love to watch him fail. Maybe that makes me a terrible person. I don't give a fuck. But like, I love to watch him flounder and fail. So they get into this burning building and Kody immediately like abandons his partner. He's like not communicating with her whatsoever. He's flailing around. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's looking for. He's trying to find the hostage because he thinks that that's the most important thing. But then they have to like go through a portion of the building that's like filled with smoke, and he has to put like a gas mask on, and he finds a hostage. He doesn't put a gas mask on the hostage. And then he also doesn't give a shit about his partner, who is just trying to figure out what the hell Kody is doing. Like, Kody, again, is not communicating anything. He grabs a hostage, doesn't put a gas mask on him, so he essentially doesn't care about this hostage's life. And Kody forgets about the critical asset, forgets about his partner. He straight up leaves the building with his fake hostage and leaves his partner behind, doesn't even know where she's at. She's trying to find the critical asset. She misses the time limit or something. I think the building fake explodes and she failed the test as well. And then she gets out of the building to find Kody outside with the hostage without her. And she was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you left me in there. And he's like, yeah, sorry about it. I totally failed. Sorry. I didn't communicate. And she's like, yeah, you fucking think. And then Kody and his partner get yelled at by the staff. And I did enjoy Kody getting yelled at. That was great. And they just basically tell him that he was a total failure, because that he is, and that he didn't communicate, and that he sucks. Big fat dick. I'm kidding. But that's essentially what they said to him. And I did enjoy that. And then we have some little scenes here and there throughout the episode where you see some of the other contestants kind of talking shit about Kody and like how they think he's really annoying and he just talks a lot and he makes everything about himself. And I did enjoy that. I loved seeing some of those scenes of people just being like, ugh, this guy again. He sucks so bad. And like even the staff doesn't really like Kody. Like Kody, there's a scene where he has to go request like more toilet paper or something from the staff, and the staff guys are like, oh, that fucking, I think they called him like a naked mole rat or something, like, this guy again, he's so weird, like, and they called him an old guy, which I did appreciate too. That was pretty funny. So I did like seeing some of the other people on the show express their distaste for Kody, because I hope that Kody like watches that back and feels a little narcissistic injury to him, to his ego. I hope he cries about it. Again, I know that makes me a terrible person, but like Kody needs a taste of his own medicine. Like he said some of the most heinous, awful shit about his own family for season upon season upon season on Sister Wives. So like you deserve a little bit coming back at you. You know what I mean? And so it's obvious that the rest of the people on the show, they're really not liking having to like hang out with this guy. They don't like Kody. They think he's annoying. And I love that. I love that for me. And then we have somebody who asks Kody at one point, like the pros and cons of his lifestyle, meaning polygamy. Like, what were the pros and cons of living that life? And Cody's like, well, you know, I had 18 children with 4 women. So it was a lot. There was a lot of jealousy and a lot of like competition and everything. But he would never do it again. He would never marry again. And I just wanted to highlight this because he said this with his own words, that he will never marry again and never live this lifestyle again. Keep in mind, we're on season 20 of Sister Wives, and like we still have this running narrative of like they might do polygamy again, but no, they're just scared because they can't get a guarantee. But like Cody's a monogamist, and then we have Kody telling Robin he got an email from a woman who wants to be in their life as a sister wife. Like, miss me with this. It's obvious you don't want to be in this lifestyle ever again because you fucking failed at it, Kody. So I don't know. I didn't like that comment. Kody also in his talking head in regards to this conversation about the pros and cons about polygamy, he says that there ended up being some bad blood with some of the family after the divorces, and in some cases with my children, communication has ceased. So that was interesting for him to admit to that. I know he's kind of like, he's alluded to it on Sister Wives, but like he doesn't get into enough about it on Sister Wives to like have an actual good discussion about it. So he mentions it on Special Forces, and Kody says that it's a disappointment to not be in contact with some of his kids, with all of his kids, but there's some things he just won't own. He'll own where he should, but he won't own certain things with his kids, meaning he won't take full responsibility for his bullshit, for how he treated the wives, how he treated his children, how he favored Robin and her children. And I just thought it was interesting that he had the balls to say something like that on national TV, because he's saying it essentially to his children that may be watching him on this show right now. Because I think Gabe is covering this show. At least he was at the beginning, like when it first aired, he was saying that he was going to react to some of the episodes of his dad being on this show. I haven't watched any of his coverage about it, so I don't know anything that he's said or what his thoughts are about it. But like, you know, some of your kids are watching this, Kody, and so for you to say something like, there's just some things I won't own, is really fucked up. It's really fucked up as a parent. And like, I've talked about this on the pod. Like, again, like I have my own issues with some of my family. Okay. I'm a child of like some dysfunctional things. Okay. And if my parent said some shit like that on TV, dude, I would be so no contact. And I'm also the type where I would call my parent up and I'd be like, fuck you. You suck. Like, I can't believe you fucking said that shit, because it's just so like, it's so selfish. It's so narcissistic. And it's so, I don't know, like irresponsible. Like, your kids are hurting, you know? Your kids are hurting because of how the family broke up and how you mishandled everything. And they're hurting because, like, you just don't care. You don't care that you're not in contact with a lot of your children. Yeah, you're saying it's a disappointment on special forces, but like, are you doing anything about it? Are you on their doorstep like Robin says you should be? Are you calling them? Are you trying to reach out? Are you trying to say, I'm sorry? Are you trying to tell them that you love them? No, like, you can't even remember all of your kids' birthdays. You can't even call them to say happy birthday, which is crazy. So like, I don't know. Kody saying this really pissed me off. And it gets worse throughout the episode, because then he ends up getting pulled into questioning with the staff. And, you know, we have these moments throughout every single episode, and like the whole purpose of like being called into questioning, right, is to be called out on your shit and to dig deep, right? Like, that's the theme of the show, is to really test your limits and break your ego, basically. And so you would think that something like this would be effective for Kody, but no, he's a narcissist. So you can't really dig deep with somebody, and you can't really break a narcissistic's ego. So when they pull him into questioning, they first talk about it in the context of the show. So they're like, why are you here? What's your calling? Why do you even want to be here? It's like, why are you here? We don't want you here. And Kody says he wants to be challenged. He's happy to be here, actually. And he knows that he failed on the course, but he'll do better again, coach. I'll try again, coach. I'll be better. I promise. But then it gets into a conversation about his family life. And this felt very, very produced to me. Like, I didn't find anything that Kody said to be authentic, to be genuine, or to be coming from a real place whatsoever. But they bring up his like family. And it's the producers, not the producers, but the staff are trying to pretend like they don't know who he is. And like, they don't know his past. I feel like most people know who Kody Brown is, but like, I digress. Not everybody can be a raccoon in a dumpster, apparently. But they ask him like what his calling was. And Cody's like, well, it was to be a husband and a father. Like, I had 4 wives. I have all of these children. And the staff pretend to be shocked by that. And then Kody says, like, there was a lot of accusations of favoritism and a lot of jealousy and a lot of things that like broke up my family. And then he goes on this like tangent about how he feels like his kids rejected him. Like, what? Are we living on the same planet right now? You think your kids rejected you? Bro, you rejected them. It's the other way around. Like, how can you be so offended by your children being hurt by your actions? I just don't understand. He is so fucking delusional. So he said that he feels like his kids rejected him. He was offended by what they did because he gave them all he had and gave them all the reciprocation that they needed. What? Are we serious right now? You're going to act like you were the father of the year and you're offended because your children don't want to talk to you because you chose Robin and her children over the rest of the family that you built up and you brought up? Like, dude, you're completely delusional. And like, even the staff kind of try to call him out on this because they can even see through his narcissism. And one of the staff guys, I don't remember their names, okay? So don't come for me. But like, one of the staff guys asks if Kody is truly taking full responsibility for what had happened. And Kody says, well, I don't really want to admit that I'm wrong sometimes, which we have been saying on the pod since like season 17 that like Kody refuses to be wrong. He refuses to be blamed for anything. Like, he genuinely thinks he's the victim in this entire scenario. He does not take any accountability whatsoever. And here it is him admitting it on Special Forces. And he does say something like, well, I should have had a stronger relationship with my kids. Okay, well, you could try to do that now. You could try to do that right now. Otherwise, you're just going to lose all of your children because you refuse to take ownership for your shit and for being a terrible parent. Like, come on, Kody. You're 57. You think you would know better. You think you would have like a little bit, just a little bit of wisdom at 57. But here we are. And they ask him, like, okay, you're saying you should have had a better relationship with your kids. What are you going to do about it, though? And that's exactly what I'm asking. What are you going to do about it, though, Kody? And this is where Kody cries. And let me just tell you, let me take a sip of my Coca-Cola because I just can't. This man fake cries. He gives a Robin Brown performance on Special Forces. Like, barely any tears come out. He's pretending to break down. And he's like, well, I'm ready to be wrong now. I'm ready. Are you? I feel like this is such a performance. Like, I would love for some of the older kids to come out and say some shit like, I still haven't heard from my dad in X amount of years, or like, I still haven't heard from my dad in however long. So he's on Special Forces saying he's ready to be wrong and ready to have better relationships with us, but he's done nothing. Like, I would love for some of the older kids to call him out on that. I know we're not going to get that, but if I was one of these kids, that's what I would be doing. I would be dragging my dad through the mud if I could. If Kody Brown was my dad, shit. So Kody fake cries, and he says that he thought he did well being a dad and a husband, which is just, again, delusional. Like, how could you think that you did well? I don't understand. With how you went through 3 divorces, none of your older kids talked to you. How could you think you did well? How could you think you did well? I don't get it. And one of the staff calls him out for that again, which I did appreciate. And they said that's a very adolescent, immature way of thinking. And Kody's like, okay, well, I'll accept that. No, you won't. I'm sure Kody like actually cried about that comment later when he goes to sleep. He probably cries himself to sleep to that. And then Kody says he would like to repair the relationships with all of his family, all of his children, including the ex-wives, which is just a crock of shit. Because right after he says that, he says he apologizes to his kids if he offended or hurt any of them. If he offended or hurt any of them. So again, like, not sitting in the full weight of his actions and what he has done. He doesn't think that he hurt any of them or offended any of them. He just, and like, to give this like apology on national TV is so performative because you know that the real apologies like aren't happening behind the scenes because he doesn't care. And that's why this episode was so infuriating to me, because he talks about his family. He pretends to cry about the breakdown of his entire family and the breakdown of his relationships, but like, there is no action to back any of that up. And that's what's frustrating. It's so grandiose. It's so performative. It's so fake. And then at the very end of the episode, they have all of the remaining people write death letters to their family or loved ones or whatever. Because like, if you're in the military or if you're in the special forces, like, you have to write some kind of like letter to your family or whatever, telling them, you know, how you really feel in the case of you not being able to come home, like if you're on deployment or whatever. And you know who Kody chooses to write to? Like, not his kids, not his family, which was the focus of this episode, right? Which was him kind of admitting to his failures as being a bad husband and a bad father. Like, he doesn't write to his family or anything like that, or his estranged children. No, he writes to Robin Brown. And he writes this like really cringy like love letter where he's just like, I love you so much, baby. Oh my God. Like, I think you're the most perfect person ever. And like, give my love to only your children because I don't care about any of my other kids. And I hope to see you one day, my sweet queen, or something. Like, he calls her my sweet queen. Puke, dude. So gross. Super cringy. I hated it so much. And it, again, like, him choosing to write the letter to Robin just goes to show, like, where his real loyalties lie and where his real feelings lie, because you can say all this shit about how you're disappointed that you don't talk to any of your kids and how you're sad that you don't get to talk to them, and you want to repair the relationships, but like when push comes to shove, you write the letter to your one and only beloved Robin, and not to anybody else, like not to any of your estranged kids or anything like that. Like, I don't know, I just felt like that was very quintessential to who he is as a person, and just goes to show that this entire episode and this entire like season of him being on Special Forces is completely 100% performative, inauthentic. He's not digging deep anywhere. He's not breaking down his ego. He's not taking any real accountability. And if anybody believes that he is, I would love to hear your arguments as to why, but like, I could smell this shit from a mile away. Like, he is so full of it. And I'm over it. I'm sick of it. It was so infuriating to watch this episode, but I did appreciate seeing people talk shit about him, and I did appreciate him getting yelled at, and I did appreciate him being called a total failure. Oh, there was also one little comment, one like little scene in the middle of this episode, I forget, but like Kody was being such a creep. He like goes up to one of the girls like when she's like washing her face outside or whatever, and he's like, man, you're really clean. You really like take good care of your hygiene. I'm over here just like letting it all go. I'm so fucking stinky. That's probably why everyone hates me, because I smell bad. But like, you're like really clean and you like smell good. Okay, bye. Like, that was so weird, dude. And even the girl that he said that to, I think her name was Gina or something, she was just like, the fuck? Like, why are you talking to me, you old man? Like, he came off such like so creepy. Such like a creepy old man, and I loved that. I did love that. So I did love the little moments in the episode where he got his ass handed to him a little bit, but him performing and trying to go on this redemption arc and try and take like responsibility when we know he doesn't actually mean it was really infuriating to watch. I can't say like I didn't expect that to happen, because Kody is a narcissist, so of course like he'll do whatever he can to try and rehab his image, but like, man, is it annoying to watch. So let us know, or let me know what you guys thought of this episode, and like what your thoughts were of Kody in this performance, and if you thought any of it was genuine. I would love to know. I thought it was fake as hell. And leave me some comments below on YouTube if you're watching there, or like DM me on Instagram at Reality TV Cringe, message us on Patreon. I would love to know your thoughts, and stick around for later this week. We'll have a recap of Seeking Sister Wives as well, which I'm really excited to get into, because that shit is so good and so trashy. So yeah, that's it, and I love ya, and bye.